Welcome to Lemon Live at 5. You know, one of those days where you have to decide. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Where you have to decide, do I do this? Do I not? Do I play into their hands? Do I not? Am I playing into their hands? And then I thought about this. Now, I told you guys that I know some stuff. I consider myself old. Old people be knowing. And so should we be surprised at the state of our politics right now and the state of our country and with the behavior of this particular president, king? Because as much as, look, certainly right now, he is behaving as if he is king. And he is actually getting away with a whole heck of a lot of stuff. And so before I go into what I'm going to tell you about, I think you guys know what I'm talking about because you saw it up on the thing today, right? So before I go there with you, I want to tell you why perhaps you should not be surprised at this. I know it's painful for a lot of people, but I just wanted this was back in like 2017, 2018, 2019. And I remember people lost their minds and they all covered it. Remember this? Do we have it? Yes, no, maybe so. Do we have it? Andy? No?
Which one?
I think Don wants the chosen one.
And this is the old one. This is back in 2017, 18. Here it is.
I am the chosen one.
Do it one more time. Do you guys remember this?
I am the chosen one.
So you know he thinks very highly of himself, but has a very tiny ego. A large ego, but a very tiny sense of self, and obviously maybe an overinflated ego and maybe an overinflated sense of self, but it's insecurity. I am the chosen one. So today, this is what happened. This afternoon, this happening just moments ago, the official White House page tweeting out, I think it's Twitter or it's on the official White House page, putting this out. Congestion pricing is dead. Manhattan and New York is saved. Long live the king. President Donald J. Trump. Now, let me explain to you what is going on. He said congestion pricing is dead in Manhattan. So Manhattan had this congestion pricing where if you wanted to come into the city with a car and you lived in a certain area or outside of the borough of Manhattan, you had to pay a fee. And so I guess Donald Trump told Sean Duffy, who's the transportation secretary, to nix it. A lot of people liked it. A lot of people didn't like it. Regardless of how you feel about it, that's not the point. The point is that Donald Trump, obviously, Sean Duffy's not doing anything without Donald Trump's approval, and he said nix it. And then the transportation department came in and overrode the governor of New York, Kathy Hochul. Remember, he's the chosen one. He's the king. So then he tweets this out, and then the White House tweets this out, and then on his official page on his website or his social media site, he put this one up. Congestion pricing is dead. Manhattan and all of New York is saved. Long live the king. So he's calling himself the king. Now, I think it's trolling. However, the governor of New York does not think it is trolling. And she had a few words for him. Let's see what you think.
At 1:01 p.m. today, the U.S. Department of Transportation emailed us a letter from Secretary Duffy announcing their attempt to end the congestion pricing program in the state of New York. At 1:58 p.m., President Donald Trump tweeted, "Long live the king." I'm here to say New York hasn't labored under a king in over 250 years. And we sure as hell are not going to start now. The streets of this city where battles were fought, we stood up to a king, and we won then. And we will, in case you don't know, New Yorkers, when we're in a fight, we do not back down, not now, not ever.
Okay, Governor Kathy Hochul, let's just say a lot of New Yorkers are already saying, if you are not afraid of this king, if you want to, New Yorkers are ticked for the most part, then you need to get rid of the mayor. Why hasn't that happened? If you are big and brave and bad, and I'm just saying, do you have the power to remove him? And you haven't. So what gives New Yorkers confidence, the confidence that you are actually going to be able to fight this in court, and that you have the stomach to do it? Because a lot of Democrats have been going out and saying, hey, this is unconstitutional. And then what does that do? As if people don't know it's unconstitutional. Of course it's unconstitutional. Some of it may be illegal, but Donald Trump doesn't care. You know why he doesn't care? Because he said so. And actually, just him tweeting this out, putting the White House putting this out, this is a coordinated effort, by the way. They're not afraid of Kathy Hochul. They're not afraid of Democrats. They're not afraid. They're not even afraid of federal judges. So for all of the people who have been sitting around, and even the Democrats who are like, well, we are heading towards a constitutional crisis. We're in a constitutional crisis. Wake up. I've been telling you guys that for weeks, if not months. I told you before the election. My words were, the first time around was a test. It was practice. I said that. It was practice. And now that they've actually figured out how to do it, and the Supreme Court has granted him complete authority, complete immunity to just about everything, elections have consequences. So this is people talk about FAFO for Trump supporters. Yeah, it's going to be an FAFO for Trump supporters with some of these executive orders, but with Donald Trump saying that he is the king, it's not far off. Especially if you're defying a federal judge. I'm going to show you how this is a coordinated effort for the White House and for everyone, all the staff, all the MAGA folks. It's coordinated, and barely a peep. Where I said to the producers, can you find me a response? Is there a response from Democrats? I know I keep hitting Democrats every day, but seriously. And as of right now, when we are live, we're having trouble finding anything. Are they neutered? Are they stunned? Are they like what? I'm not triggered by him saying this, but what is concerning and what people aren't realizing and what they're not getting is we're already there. I told you I was at dinner with people who were saying they weren't sure if the salute was the salute that everybody thinks it was. And I'm like, wait, what? Okay. These are liberals. Or, I don't think we're there yet. And a Democratic politician. When I said they need to make way for people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Jasmine Crockett, I was like, wait, what? I can't stand her policies. No one wants that. The party doesn't. I'm like, okay, well, the people want it. They're so out of touch. And you guys, they're so behind. I'm telling you guys, you guys have to get on the Democrats because the Republicans aren't going to do it. I'm telling you guys, they don't realize the moment that we're in. They don't get it. Because if they did, they would have been prepared for this moment. Because you should not be surprised. He told you the first time that he is the chosen one. And now he is telling you that he is the king. And you want to know why? He's the king. Basically, stand back, and stand by. Another Trump special. Remember when he said that about the Proud Boys in front of the whole world at a debate? What do you say to the Proud Boys? Stand back and stand by. When someone shows you who they are, you better believe it. Okay? Don't take them at their word at least. And he's already done that. So he signs an executive order basically making him a king. Where are you guys? Where are you guys? Basically making himself a king. A king. Here it is. Roll it.
Lastly, we have another executive order that President Trump signed relating to independent agencies. This executive order would establish important oversight functions in the Office of Management and Budget and its subsidiary office, OIRA, supervising independent agencies and many of their actions, and also reestablishes the longstanding norm that only the President or the Attorney General can speak for the United States when stating an opinion as to what the law is.
Thank you very much, Will. That was the primary purpose of this conference.
Take it back. I want you to hear the last thing that this man says. Listen closely. Okay, play it, please. Just the last thing that he says.
And also reestablishes the longstanding norm that only the President or the Attorney General can speak for the United States when stating an opinion as to what the law is.
Thank you very much, Will. That was the primary purpose of this conference.
Do you guys understand? Only he can decide when stating what the law is. What he's saying is the courts don't decide that. The Congress doesn't decide that. The judges don't decide that. I decide that. Do you guys oh my God, I have been telling you guys this forever. So look, I'm not surprised by it. I'm just like, well, it's coming to fruition. I tried to tell you during the election. And even before. And that's part of the reason I pushed back on Republicans and MAGA people. And that's probably the reason, it's the reason I'm here in independent media. I was like jumping, hey, hello, don't you guys see this coming? Anyone, does anyone see this coming? No, it's never going to happen. Americans aren't going to do this. They're never going to let this happen. No. We need to hear from the MAGA folks. We need to do another focus group, another poll. Basically, we need to normalize this. This is actually what people want behind the scenes. So we're going to normalize this, media. Rich people don't like regulations. And it's obvious Donald Trump doesn't like to be regulated, not even in the norms of American standards for conduct in the White House and in government. He does not want to be regulated. He wants to be a king, and he has told you today. And excuse me. Is it trolling? Yes. But also, is it not trolling? 150%. Here's what Kyle Kalinske is saying on the social media. Watch. Kyle Kalinske is saying,
Kyle Kalinski's the SOT.
Yeah, soundbite. Here it is. Let's play it.
Now, if you know nothing about politics, you might hear that and go, well, what's the big deal? The president says what the law is. Well, you use the word only in there, which is sort of super important, but I'll play it for you one more time, and I'll tell you what it means.
The longstanding norm that only the President or the Attorney General can speak for the United States when stating an opinion as to what the law is.
This is a direct and giant, colossal, gargantuan middle finger to the courts, where he's announcing up front, yes, I'm going to defy your court orders, and there's nothing you can do about it. I dare you. Try. You got nothing. You want to stop me? Go ahead and stop me with your army. Oh, that's right. You don't have an army, and I do. I'm the commander-in-chief. So what I say goes.
Kyle is right. Oh my gosh, I told you. So the Supreme Court granted him immunity. People should have, obviously, from the first time when they voted for Joe Biden, they were like, we're sick of this. They should have realized it. But then people sort of romanticize it. They get comfortable. And when Roe v. Wade happened, the overturning of Roe v. Wade, when that happened, or the Dobbs case, when that happened, that was a wake-up moment. That was a wake-up moment. And still, it's not that bad. I'm going to vote for the third-party candidate. I'm not going to go vote. Okay. Jill Stein. Cornel West. Talk about FAFO. Here's the thing. And look, I'm not going to go back and litigate the election, but I tried to tell people, and then people were all in their feelings going, yeah, well, Don, you shouldn't be telling people they shouldn't vote for a third party. Yes, I should be, because it was the absolute truth. You should not be chastising people. I'm not chastising people. I'm just trying to give you a taste, a dose of reality, so that you could understand, or should have understood, the moment that we were in. So even after that, people were still ambivalent. They were still like, I don't know. I don't like her policies. And I told you, I supported Kamala Harris, not because she's a Democrat, not because I thought, I think she was very qualified to be president, but it wasn't like I was jumping up and down. I thought that there was a movement and that people wanted to keep a democracy. And if you wanted to keep a democracy, then you needed to vote for the Democrat. But if a Democrat was trying to defy a democracy, I probably would have voted for the Republican, depending on who it was. But Trump is far worse. The train coming down the tracks is a locomotive that's going to run you over. Do you want to get on the commuter train that's going to pick you up and take you to somewhere where you have the best chance of getting the closest to your house? Or do you want the locomotive that's coming behind that one that's just going to run your ass over and doesn't give a damn about you? Smash you and you're gone. I don't care. Which one do you want? Because those are the choices that you have. In this election, I hate it when people are like, I'm going to vote for this, I'm going to do this. I don't really like. You only have two choices, unfortunately. And so now this is a fuck around and find out, I believe, for the Democrats who didn't believe it could happen, for the non-Trumpers who didn't think it could happen, for the ambivalent people, for the third party people, for the people who were like, I don't know, I don't like her, and she's like, I don't know. Yeah, I need to hear more about her policies. You need someone who's like my mom. My mom was like, I would vote for a cat before I vote for him. Because she knows. Old people be knowing. And here come the young folks who buy some of the bullshit that they see on social media. And now, here we are, America. Welcome to the monarchy. Welcome. How do you like it? It may be fun from the beginning if you're trying to own the libs, but you're going to own yourself. And remember, trouble doesn't last always. You've heard that saying before. Trouble don't last always. And at some point, there's going to be a Democratic president who is going to take many plays from the Trump playbook And they're going to do the same shit. And you MAGA folks are going to be crying and screaming, oh my God, how dare he make America great again, again, again. On that note, make America great again, again, again. You think now that this fool is going to leave the White House? Nope. I told you that's not going to happen too. You mark my words. I know people say it's different, but they're still going to try it. I didn't serve 2 consecutive terms. Therefore, I should be president again. He ain't leaving. Michael Bloomberg did it in New York. I know, I'm a New Yorker. I live there. He had the legislature change, and we can do the same thing. Amend the Constitution. Change it. Mark my words. I hate to be Donnie Downer, but Donnie Downer is telling you the truth and giving you the true information. Elections have consequences. You may think it's funny. But shit just got real. And so the problem is, even more so than the American public, to the people that I'm talking about, right? To the citizens, because I understand how people can be co-opted. I understand how misinformation can inform you in the wrong way. I get it. I get it that people need media literacy and they need to understand. And actually, I think they need political media literacy as well. I understand how the folks who are in control of the algorithms feed people things that elevate their level of misinformation and disinformation, and they were doing it on purpose because they were supporting a certain candidate or a certain party. I understand it. And even I understand corporate media doing the same thing. Normalize it. So if you're sitting there every day and you have the TV on all day, and so you guys always talk about those people, even my mom says, those people sit in front of the television all day, they just watch Fox all day, they just watch Fox. Yes, they do. They do. And they get that misinformation and they act on it as well. But people who don't watch Fox are also sitting around watching the corporate media, and they don't even realize that they're being lulled into. It's not that different. It's a softer pedal. It's a velvet glove. Every day you see another MAGA person come on, and then another, and then another, and then another. And you're like, at first you're like, well, why is this person on this channel? What's going on here? Like, what's up with that? And then all of a sudden you see another one, and then you see another one, and then they bring them on. They say, oh, no, you can't challenge. And then they're like, oh, and then the ratings go down, and then you have to start challenging it. And then they bring them on. But then to get the point across, and they're like, well, you got to challenge them a little bit. But before you know it, you're lulled. It lulled into it. I see some of you, and you get it. Because you're sitting around doing the same thing, except you're watching other channels. And you don't realize that, okay, oh, wow. There's another MAGA person just lied about the insurrection. Well, what are they? Not my news network. What? Okay. Then another one comes up. What? Another person just lied about a stolen election. And why they have this person on? And then the person, the anchor of the person says, well, we need to hear from all sides. And, America's made up of a bunch of people, and you want to know what the other side, and you want to be misinformed. Bullshit. That is bullshit. What you're doing is normalizing it. Because the liars have no right to the airwaves. It's not a right to bring on anyone. It's a privilege. That we need to hear from all sides, and we need to have all of that, and the false equivalency and the false balance. That means we need to put more MAGA folks, more Republicans on, because what? That's the messaging that they want to get across. It helps their business. And every day you don't even realize that it's happening. And then all of a sudden, there you are. And you're like, why can't I get these people, this person off my TV every night? What is going on here? I know, I'm trying to tell you. So that's why I say there's somewhat I can't blame the people, but you have to be aware that you have the power and that you don't have to do it. And you don't have to watch the food fights that give you nothing. That even if it is fighting about it, they're still pushing a message that is a lie, that is detrimental to America. So imagine let's just think about in the old days and what has happened before. Just think about during, let's say, the civil rights movement. When people were being hosed and beaten and pushed away from lunch counters, and worse, because we know the lynchings. So would you have said, we need to hear the side of the lynchers, the side that doesn't want immigration in this country? We need to hear from the side from the people who don't think that Black people are human beings. Let's put them on and hear their point of view. Let's do a focus group on them. No, you know they're a bigot and a racist. So then okay, let's just say during Jim Crow or the Civil Rights Movement, let's put the people on who bashed John Lewis's head, and just so we could hear from them constantly, day after day after day after day. And they are coming, well, we know that Black people are inferior. No, we're not. Yes, you are, because the study showed this. No, it doesn't show that. Yes, they do. And then they start coming up with anecdotes. And then you start going, okay. Do you see what I'm saying? So history has taught us that some things are objectively bad. And they don't need false equivalence. And they don't need to be pushed on people. I feel like I'm just standing at the edge of the ocean and screaming, and nobody is listening, in an abyss. I mean, does anybody out there hear me? So I can't really blame the people that much, because you're feeding your family and you're sitting around and the TV's on and you're like, wait a minute, what is going on? What? You don't even know it's being programmed into you while you're feeding the family, while you're laying in your bed, falling asleep, while you're taking your work clothes off, while you're putting your pajamas on, while you're in your office, and it's just on in the background. And then all of a sudden you realize, like, you get used to hearing the lies. Whether you agree with it or not, you're used to hearing it. It becomes normalized. That's what becomes normal. And you don't realize that you have the power. Like Kendrick Lamar says, turn the TV off. But y'all don't hear me. Am I preaching to this church by myself this evening? I'm going back to my Sunday mornings. Am I preaching to the church this evening? Am I the only one in here? I wish I had a choir who could help me, because I'm trying to inform you about what is going on. So I really can't blame. I can, but not so much. What I really do blame, and that's why I get so ticked off, and I talk about them all the time, even though they're the only people who believe in democracy, they don't know how to fight for democracy, and that is our politicians, and that's our leaders. They're supposed to be leaders. Yes, this chat is on fire. I see people, the chat is on fire. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. We have so many people watching us. Wait, come on, what are you doing? Smash the hearts wherever. I know you're watching us. People are watching us on Instagram. They're watching us on Facebook. They're watching us on TikTok. And our main show is on the YouTube right now. If you want to get on, wow, this chat is on fire. So I do blame some of the people. You got to be aware of what is happening to you. When all of a sudden you start to see that, and then you see all of the progressive center left and center right voices, all of a sudden they're gone. They're gone from your television. They're gone from your newspaper. But what happened to that columnist I liked his editorials, the one who used to write about race. Oh, we got rid of our race and diversity columnist. Oh, okay. But you didn't get rid of the MAGA columnist, did you? No. Because we need to hear from that side. We don't hear enough voices from the MAGA people, the liars. What happened to such and such? I used to like to watch her. She used to get in the ass. Well, her contract ran out and we didn't renew her. But the MAGA person with that, well, we need to hear from the other side. We need to hear all voices. And America is a big place, and we need to. So you're wondering, like people saying, well, what do we do? How do we protest? There are many ways you can protest. I'm going to give you a few examples. You can take to the streets. I know it's cold. I was outside today. Man, it's freezing here in Manhattan. I know it's cold, but people want to hear and want other people to help. There's in numbers. If you get out there and you show the folks that you're not going to stand for it, they'll pay attention to you. You can, as they say, not shop in certain places. People are saying on February 28th, the day before my birthday, is this a leap year? Because sometimes, I don't even know if it's a leap year or not. I don't think it is. I think it's 26. You can protest by not shopping at certain places, by putting your dollars and your money in certain places or taking it away. You can protest by not listening to a certain radio station, giving them that Nielsen click on your thing. You can do the same thing with television. Because it's being normalized. So I can't really blame that much. But let me just go back to the politicians. That's who I blame for this. For I am the chosen one and I am king. That's what I blame. Protest and boycott, says Albert Shiva. Yes, Tracy P., I know already doing this, but not enough people are doing it. You can always have more, is what I'm saying. That's why independent media is so important. That's why I sit here every day. You think all right, I'm just going to I'm always honest with you guys, okay? You think I like sitting here every day saying, hey, like and subscribe and thank you for your support and become a member. I never had to do that because I had this big corporate machine behind me. Like you said, there's an ad sales department. You sell the ads. I'm not doing that. I'm going to throw my makeup on. I'm going to talk to my producer. I'm going to put on my suit and I'm going to get out there and I'm going to read the teleprompter. I wish I had a camera behind me. There is no teleprompter here. There's nothing. Barely some notes. Just what the elements that my producers prepared for me. And a couple of things. But other than that, this wasn't written anywhere. So do you think I like getting out here every day? So busking, going, hey! I'm just saying. But I think it's important. I don't have to do this. I don't have to work. How many times do I have to tell you people that I don't? But I need to be able to sustain this, to pay people so that I can keep it on the air, so that I can give you the truth. because nobody's going to tell you this. I had lunch with a friend today. She's like, she works in television, and she said, I'm so happy. I listen to you every morning. I listen to your 5. I'm so happy that you are free and that you could do this, because you couldn't do that when you worked in corporate media. You could not say what you say. You could not call Tom Homan an ass, which is what he is. And I'm like, yeah. Anytime somebody's trying to take someone's First Amendment right away, AOC's right away, because she is informing people about their rights, and he wants to either investigate, prosecute, or put her in jail, yeah, that person's an ass. And you should be able to say that because it is the truth. So here we are, all together. And you need to get on your politicians' asses, get on their butts, make them do something. You do have the power to do stuff. I'm here to tell you. The dollar is a very, 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 very important, the most important thing. Think about why we're here. Think about what the billionaires are doing. Think about how people who are lining their pockets. If you stop supporting them with your dollars, that is the biggest impact that you can make. You don't have to buy certain cars. You don't like the Ford, you buy. You don't like the Lincoln, you can buy. You don't like the whatever car, you don't have to buy it. I'm not saying that you do that. I'm just telling you what you can do. If you don't like the product, you can cut it. If you don't like cable, cut it. There are places that you can get the information. If they're not doing what you think is right by you as an American citizen, you have the right to be able to do it, because the dollar is the almighty in this country. That young man, Kyle, he's right. He's telling you he is the king and that he is going to defy the judge's orders. And he's like, who's going to check me, boo? Who's going to check him? Because the Republicans aren't going to check him. The Democrats don't seem like they have the will to check him. So it's going to have to be the American people. And you're going to have to tell your politicians, if you don't stop this now, if you don't do something, if you're not willing to. I had Amanda Seals on a note. Amanda, people think that she's a rabble-rouser and whatever, but she's entitled to her opinion. And I had her on. She said, we're not used to protesting anymore. We're not used to fighting the system. Basically has become too complacent. I don't care. Because I know the reason that I am able to get this far is because a lot of people fought and died for me to have this opportunity. And if people can fight and die, surely I can go and protest. Surely I can demand that my politicians do something. And if need be, for civil disobedience, I would go to jail for civil disobedience, because it is your right to protest. You must stand up for yourselves. Because when we say at the end of the day, you won't have your country, it means more than that. At the end of the day, you won't have your rights. You won't have your freedom. You won't be able to. At least now you can go to court and you have a fighting chance of going to court and receiving some justice if the system is working. But if they get rid of the courts and someone can dictate to the courts what they can and cannot do, then that affects your life on a personal level. When people say, oh, this is fighting for democracy, yes. So I blame mainly the politicians, and they are going to have to do something about it. They are going to have to do something about it. I think Kyle Kulinski, we have another soundbite from him. Let's listen. I've never really heard of him, but I like him. Whoever he is, I like him. Let's play is there another one?
What makes this so terrifying, y'all, is that the Supreme Court gave him the green light. Remember that Supreme Court decision that said, hey, as long as what the president is doing, as long as he thinks it's an official act, he's allowed to do it. Well, now the chickens are coming home to roost, dog. Like, that's what this is. This is only I can assert what the law is, myself or the attorney general. And of course, the attorney general is Pam Bondi. That's a puppet of Trump anyway. He's literally announcing in a press conference, yes, I'm going to defy the courts. But it's okay because I am the one on solid legal grounds. That's what he's asserting. So he's saying, I have the powers of a king. I have the powers of a tyrant or a dictator or an emperor. That's what he's doing.
Okay, so he's saying the same thing that I'm saying. I said the same thing. That's what he is doing. Do you guys get it? But I knew that he was going to do it from the very beginning. And mark my words, you're going to wait till he says, I'm going to run again. I'm not going anywhere. Wait. This is a coordinated effort. Usually someone would be, can you imagine Joe Biden or Barack Obama doing that, or Kamala Harris saying, I am the queen, I am the king, I am the king. You get Republicans, their heads, the hair would be on fire. This is a coordinated effort from the White House, from the top down. Here's the Deputy White House Chief of Staff tweeting out the king thing. The White House Chief of Staff tweeting that out. Here's one from my own producer, Peter, who I think is absolutely right on this. When I said it's trolling, it doesn't matter. It does, and it's trolling, yes, but trolling that matters. Right-wing pundits will laugh this off as trolling, and maybe it is. But at a certain point, it doesn't matter if musings about monarchy are done in jest or not, because MAGA sees it as earnest. And this just sets the stage for the destruction of even more norms down the road. Thank you, Peter. But I think that's gone. I think, Peter, I think that you could have tweeted that in November. I'm just saying, I'm not saying, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I got you.
I've been saying it is over for a long time, and it's just shocking to me. Tim, did I just tell you the story? Tim said he was talking with a friend who's down in Florida because it's so cold here, and his friend's like, "We went out to dinner last night. Nobody's talking about this. Everybody's just like, ooh, it's cold. I can't go protest." Keep doing that. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. And you'll see what's going on. And you'll see what is going on. I think there's something new that we have. Let's see. The NPR thing. Trump officials will not restart most foreign aid despite court order. There you go. There you go. Nobody believed it. Now, if you can you imagine if a judge said, I sentence you or I do whatever, and you defied the judge, how soon would your ass be in jail? But not if you're a monarch. Not if you're the emperor. Trump officials will not restart most foreign aid despite court order. Despite a federal court order, Trump officials now running the U.S. Agency for International Development have not reopened the flow of money to thousands of programs around the globe, many of which have laid off workers and are starving for funds. This is how it's affected on a human level. These are people who are starving for funds, people's lives and livelihood at stake. Y'all don't hear me. You don't hear me. Despite a federal court order, Trump officials now running the U.S. Agency for International Development have not reopened the flow of money to thousands of programs around the globe, many of which have laid off workers and are starving for funds. In a court filing late Tuesday, USAID said it was permitted to cancel most of his contracts. It also said it was reviewing contracts and grants one by one for evidence of waste, fraud, and to ensure they are aligned with President Trump's goals. Last week, a federal judge ordered USAID to reopen the flow of money to the programs while the case plays out. Judge Amir H. Ali in U.S. District Court in the District of Columbia wrote that the plaintiffs who received money from USAID showed that the loss of funding threatens the very existence of their business. And guess what? They said they're not doing it. He gave USAID until Tuesday to respond and explain how it was complying with the order. The case is one of several that have been filed against USAID on behalf of employees and grant recipients. And that money, USAID, who's been telling them not to give the money? Because they are saying that Donald Trump is an emperor, he is a king, and he should be able to do what he wants. As a matter of fact, on a Fox News interview last night, as Donald Trump just sat there looking, I was like, wait, who's the president here? Wait a minute, what's going on? Elon Musk said the courts should not stop executive orders. Watch and listen. Watch and listen.
The president will make these executive orders, which are very sensible. And
back it up from the beginning. I want to hear all of it.
The president will make these executive orders, which are very sensible and good for the country, but then they don't get implemented. So if you take, for example, all the funding for the migrant hotels, the president issued an executive order where, hey, we need to stop taking taxpayer money and paying for luxury hotels for illegal immigrants, which makes no sense. Like, so obviously, people do not want their tax dollars going to fund high-end hotels for illegals. And yet they were still doing that, even as late as last week. And so, we went in there and we're like, hey, this is in violation of the presidential executive order. It needs to stop. So what we're doing here is one of the biggest functions of the DOGE team is just making sure that the presidential executive orders are actually carried out.
Is to make sure the president's executive orders are actually carried out. Not that the president complies with the law. Not that the president needs to go through Congress because Congress controls the purse strings. Yet Congress is, I don't know, they're like holding press conferences in front of buildings. They're going into knocking on the building. And then the guy is like, you can't come in. And then they turn around and they leave. I had this conversation with Amanda Seals today. Wait a minute. What are you talking about? We can't come in. We are U.S. lawmakers. And both she and I agreed. That is something worth having a civil disobedience arrest for. What you mean I can't go in? I'm not saying that they go in an insurrection. They are lawmakers. I'm not saying the average citizen should do it, because then that would be like the insurrectionists. I'm saying these are lawmakers who actually have a right to go onto federal buildings because they're the law. They're lawmakers. I don't know what is going on. I don't know what y'all came to do, but I came to give you the word. Now, you can look, I could sit here and probably gain millions of followers every day if I came on and I gave you some bad news about Donald Trump every time. I gave you some bad news. Trump is bad and he's terrible and Trump is losing these cases. I could give you all, because that's how you get, you just sort of lull people in. Like you find what is the one good nugget that I can say? But I won't tell you the part that you really need to understand and get so that you know what the reality is. I'm not saying what he's doing is good. I don't do that on the program because I don't believe that what he's doing is good. I think it is dangerous. But I'm not going to sit and say, hey, after all this stuff, and there's maybe one judge that, hey, Donald Trump had a really bad day in court. In the meantime, they are taking funding from someone else. But your headline is, Donald Trump had a really bad day in court. And you're like, wait a minute. Aren't they defying a federal judge? Isn't that more important than like some temporary something that's going to be overturned anyway in court? I could do that. I could sit here and do that, but I don't, because I'm trying to give you what matters. Now I'm being told by my trusty producers that I need to listen. Do I need to listen to the Jasmine Crockett on The View today? Is there something new that goes into what we're saying?
I don't think it's a must play, but she does say that Trump is the quote unquote king of breaking things.
All right, let's see it. I want to see what Jasmine Crockett says.
Since day one, baby, that pen been going and it ain't stopped, and it's steamrolling over all of our rights and our liberties and our freedoms and everything that we thought was the foundation of this country, our Constitution.
Yes.
Seems like we're saying, well, nope, with a pen, get rid of the Constitution. With a pen, get rid of impoundment and other laws that exist.
Do you think that Americans just didn't believe that he would go with that Project 2025? Or what? What was that? I mean, he said, I don't even know what it is. Remember?
Oh, I remember, honey.
Yeah.
You know, I remember there was actually a hearing that we had in oversight, and it was right after he said, oh, I know nothing about that Project 2025.
Oh, yeah.
And we had a witness, and I mentioned that his name was mentioned 312 times.
Yes.
In Project 2025.
Yeah.
So it was like, this is interesting that he don't know nothing about it, but he's all through it.
And you know, if it's his name, he's riveted to it.
No, and he's relying on the people that absolutely pulled it together.
Like J.D. Vance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. I mean, I think that there are those that just said, I want to do something different. Yeah. And so we know that typically when people are feeling it, especially in the economy, they tend to just go the other way.
Why?
The problem is that this wasn't the guy to fix anything. This is the guy that is the king of breaking things, as we can see.
Yeah. Well, Congress.
There you go. Now, I want people to remember this: the king of breaking things and the king of lying. Because I want to show, make sure it goes from the beginning, Andy. I want to show you what he said. This was back in November, I believe, around the election or right after. And then what he said now.
Give me 1 second to grab that.
This was back in November around the election. And then this is what he said now. Anyone?
I think this is the inflation side.
Trump on the inflation. He said that on his first day, or his first day in office, or first time in office, first couple days, first hours, that he was going to do something that was just going to lower everything, inflation, prices, whatever. And then he said last night, do we have the soundbite from last night of him on the Sean Hannity saying that he doesn't know anything about inflation? Do you have that one, Andy?
Yeah, that's the one I found.
Okay, well, let's do that one, and then you can find me the other thing. That's 30 seconds. Go on.
And inflation is back. I'm only here for 2.5 weeks.
That was January.
Inflation
You were
is
there for a
back.
week.
No, think of it. Inflation's back. And they said, oh, Trump, inflation. I had nothing to do with it. These people have run the country. They spent money like nobody's ever spent. They were.
So now I got to get it. You think you can find the 30-second one? Let me know. Because that's what he said last night. Just last night. It was on the 2 p.m. elements, Andy. Just last night, he said, well, I don't know anything about inflation. And it is that he's basically saying the buck doesn't stop with him, trying to blame Joe Biden.
Okay, I have it.
Trying to blame the Democrats, even with the plane, same thing, trying to blame Pete Buttigieg. Now, remember what he just said. He just said, I had nothing to do with inflation. I don't know. Inflation, what? I have no idea. Okay, watch this.
The day I take the oath of office, I will rapidly drive prices down and we will make America affordable again. We're going to make it affordable again.
Yeah.
And inflation is back. I'm only here for 2.5 weeks.
That was January.
Inflation
You were there
is
for a
back.
week.
No, think of it. Inflation's back. And they said, oh, Trump, inflation. I had nothing to do with it.
And that's what and who they voted for. He also said, you heard he said it's the price of goods. Eggs are higher than ever. Groceries are higher than ever, higher than when Joe Biden was in office. But do you hear anybody talking about it? Do you hear the folks on the right and the MAGA people complaining about prices now? Do you hear them complaining about the price of eggs? Because it's all a scam. Jasmine Crockett mentioned how she said Donald Trump's pen has just been writing executive orders left and right. Let me leave you with something because I thought that you needed something to smile before I get out of here. Here it is.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
It's not far from the truth because every day there's a new executive order and he is just sitting there signing away. And look, it's not funny, but it is certainly it's laughable. That part is funny, but it's not funny what's happening to the country. So look, guys, thank you. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that you're part of the Lemon Nation. I'm so glad that you are a Lemonhead, and I really appreciate that you subscribe to the channel and that you become members. And I want to welcome all the new members and all of the people who are here for us. Amp J1 Law says, please address Musk's history of technocrat. His grandfather known for alignment with it and how his actions align with Technocracy Incorporated. Also, we need more voices like Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. We'll have to address that on another show. That's a whole, as they say, thank you, Amp J1 Law. That's a whole nother show. But I appreciate welcome to all of the new members to the Don Lemon Show. I appreciate you. We gave you a bonus live today at 2:00. We're working hard for you. Okay. And we know that we're making a difference because you saw that King thing, right? This is what our show was again. Andy, do you have what our show was on Monday? This is what we said on Monday. We should have seen. This was on Monday, and you guys were in the chat saying, "Do we really want to call him a king?" That was Monday. Hot Topics, 10 a.m., the first show after the weekend. I'm telling you guys, old people be knowing. I'm no. Oh boy. All right. Look, you guys are the best. Thank you so much. Welcome all of Robert Payne, all of the new members. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Suzette, Kay Handy. Who else do we have? We have a bunch of folks who are becoming new members. So thank you for becoming a member. Thank you for subscribing. And look, take the link from it's in the top of the chat on how to become a member. Send it around. Copy that link and send it around to everybody so that they too can become a member of the Don Lemon Show. And you can subscribe as well. Subscriptions are free. And also, if you are on the YouTube, your comments go up on the screen and we address them. That's when I'm not going off on things. Everyone take a deep breath, says Earth Flower Power. You're right about that. Man, look, if you guys are, honestly, if you're not watching us on YouTube, look, y'all in the chat, you're missing, the conversation is lit. Tell me the conversation wasn't lit today. I was trying to get through the comments and it was just like whoosh, going so fast that I could barely read it. So fast that I could barely read it. Stay Strong Lemonation says BB. BBB. And I agree as well. Giovanna from Canada, thank you. I appreciate you. Lit says good vibes. Yes. And people are in the chat before I even get here. Sandra, Malusha, all of you guys, welcome. Isabel, Dave Smith, everybody, welcome to the Lemon Nation. Let's make our nation stronger and bigger and badder and by hitting the thumbs up, by hitting the hearts on TikTok, by subscribing, and check out our social as well. It's either Don Lemon or Don Lemon Official, depending which you are. I think it's Don Lemon Official on Instagram. It's Don Lemon, I believe, on TikTok. Or maybe it's official, I'm not sure. Okay? We can make a difference. And I want you to go to bed tonight or go to dinner thinking about the sacrifices that people have made before us when we were in a much worse situation, at least in this country, for rights. We're at a better situation for rights now if we keep it. The democracy is good as long as you can keep it, right? So, you guys are the best. And as I say, my new saying from Kendrick Lamar, turn the TV off. Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will